Good morning. There will be some engineering failures that might cause a very serious effect. We will study a list of failures in the series videos on the title of Case Studies on Ethical Failures in Engineering Mechanics. Why the ethical failures occurs? We have to see in detail about the same before getting into the topic. The ethical failures occurs because of various natures. The engineering failures due to ethics are reminders of the permanent significance of ethical considerations in the field of engineering mechanics. These failures are not by the technical glitches, but often includes lapse in the ethical judgment, which showcasing the critical role that values play alongside knowledge and expertise of the engineers. Such failures highlights the importance of integrating the ethical principle into the engineering process for the safeguard of lives and well as the safeguard of environment. To advance the technologically, the lesson learned from the past engineering failures becomes an invaluable guiding and proper guidance for our future engineers towards the more responsible and ethical practices. Here we're going to examine some common types of failures and analysis on few case studies. We're going to see about the Tacoma Narrow Bridge collapse, why it happens on this video series. Before getting into that particular topic, we have to know some common types of failures in the engineering mechanics and well as in the other domains. The common types of failure in engineering mechanics, that is mechanical failures, it is because of the design flaws. Sometimes it might be because of the material limitations. Sometimes it might be because of the operational errors. Design flaws. Often, engineering disasters stem from flaws that were not detected during the design phase, but became apparent in the practical use. For example, what we have already said, the Tacoma Narrow Bridge, which is built in 1940, was designed without internal support trusses used in shorter spans. Because of it, it leads to a collapse due to the aerodynamic instability. Material limitations. The failure of Ford Pinto fuel tank, which is ruptured, that is corroded easily upon the impact due to its placement and constructions. This mechanical failure where material choice and design were poorly aligned with the safety requirement. Operational errors. The Space Shuttle Challenger disaster was significantly attributed to the O-rings that were not designed to handle the cold temperature on the day of the launch, showcasing how operational environment can influence the mechanical integrity. So mechanical failures occur due to the design flaws, material limitations, and operational errors. We have seen as where these errors were occur due to because of those specific design flaws, material limitations, and operational errors. The material failure that to be detailedly analyzed because of inadequate testing and the poor quality control and aging infrastructure. The Comet aircraft experienced a failure due to fatigue cracks around the window corners, which were not adequately predicted by testing methods at the time, emphasizing the needs for comprehensive material testing. Poor quality control in the construction of high regency walkways, since the material specifications and designs were not properly checked, which leads to the collapse under the weight. They were not designed to the support of the pillar. Aging infrastructure. The Hartford Civic Center roofs collapsed in the 1970s was partially due to reliance on novel computer models without sufficient empirical testing, which is highlighting the risk associated with the aging materials and untested new technologies. Sometimes we will calculate it manually by using some design softwares and will not go that for testing purpose. Before getting the results of physical results, will go for implementation in some areas that might cause a very huge failures. That is what happened in the Hartford Civic Center roof collapse. Next one is structural failure. Design and construction oversight. The Johnstown flood and the nuclear disaster both involved failures due to the inadequate consideration of structural integrity and safety protocols during both design and construction phase. System failures. The lead breaches during Hurricane Katrina represent a systematic failure where multiple engineering and administrative decisions contributed to the disaster, rather than a single fault design of material failure. Failure to adapt to environmental changes. The collapse of level in New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina also highlighted the failures in adapting engineering designs to changing the environmental condition and understanding the natural land sinking. These were the most common failures that occurred on different cases, which is all because of the failure in the ethical values while constructing those structures or constructing those buildings or constructing those rockets, anything. We have to follow an ethical value before doing those construction process so that we'll avoid human losses as well as material, money, and everything cannot be reduced. We must follow strict engineering principles before developing those structures. Let's get into the topic. Case study on Tacoma Narrow Bridge collapse. The image of the Tacoma Narrow Bridge was shown. The image was taken on the day of launch of that particular bridge. Before getting into the case study, we must know about the history of the Tacoma Bridge so that we'll understand where it gets constructed and how this collapse happened, either because of the failure of engineers who have failed to notice down those errors.